Hey guys, this is Deb Joyce Meek with Delight of My Art. Today we're going over the June stamp class. We're going a little bit early. I'm kind of switching things up a little bit so that my team can look at all of the directions here, and also you have a whole week to get a sneak peek for what we're going to be making next week in person, but you also have this entire week in order to place an order to get your packet for free. So everything in this stamp class packet is prepared and cut for you to make these 5 projects, and all you have to do is supply your own ink and stamps, and you can either fussy cut the designs that I've given to you, or you can have the dies. Those are optional, and you'll supply your own adhesive. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to be making today. So first of all, we have this beautiful pink card. And the front piece here actually pulls out. Looks like a little notebook. And while it's tucked in, you can see the little flowers there. And then it has an inside. And then here is the Daffodil Delight one. We've got a little cutout here. Excuse me. And all of these are going to be cut for you. I give you a blank piece of paper to stamp these images and then fussy cut out. If you don't have this set, you can always order it separately to earn the class for free, because any order over $35, you can have this entire packet shipped to you for free, or in person, a $25 order. So you can use this set that I'm using, or you can use any set that you own already, which is perfectly fine. And then here is the teal one. This is actually Coastal Cabana. We're using white embossing and a blending brush on this one. And then here's one with a really cool cutout kind of image here. We're using some of the DSP, so we don't even have to do any stamping here, except for right here. And we also have this fun 3D looking purse, a gift purse. You can fit a gift card in here. It's got flowers on the inside, and I'll teach you how to make this. And then it comes with a little matching card that fits right inside. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn us down to the desktop here. Just a moment. Okay. So the supplies that I'm going to be using today are Memento Black ink. I have Melon Mambo ink, Mossy Meadow, Coastal Cabana, and Gorgeous Grape. And we're also going to be using a couple blends. We have Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, and Granny Apple Green blends. You can always use any markers that you have, or maybe even the watercolor pencils would work as well. And the glue that I'm going to be using today are probably some liquid glue and dimensionals and some glue dots and some tear and tape. And this tear and tape is going to be for the bag, because we're going to need something really strong for that. All right, so I'll go ahead and put this stuff off to the side. And let's go ahead and get started with our first card. Again, the stamp set that I'm using today is called Happiness Abounds. I'm actually using almost the entire suite. This is in the annual catalog at the moment. And this set has been extremely popular, and the paper is so beautiful that it is on unorderable status until the week of July 11. So you do have time to place an order and get all of this packet for free, but the paper you'd have to order later. The stamp set here has great greetings. I used this on last month's class as well, and it's got all of these wonderful images. And we're also going to be using the dies that go with this. You can get this in a bundle. And these are called Blossoming Happiness. So if you order these two at the same time, you get them as bundle pricing, and you get 10% off of both of them. But they have all of the dies to cut out all of the images here. We've got 2 really cool border pieces and this little lacy piece that we're going to be using on that yellow card. So I'll go ahead and get the packet out here. Now this is how your packet will arrive, either in person or online. You'll have a big cardboard paper backing. It'll be wrapped in a bubble mailer, and then all of this will be labeled with the month. So if you don't end up putting it together right away, you know what this goes for. And then the PDF instructions with the measurements will be emailed to you. So we will not be going over measurements today, but you can watch me put together this entire class for free. So let's go ahead and get started with this first card. I'm going to take out all my components, and your little brass butterflies are in this first bag for all of your cards. So I gave you a good 16 little butterflies. These are so cute. They have adhesive already on the back, and so I'm loving these. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Got all these little pieces in here, and this is part of the designer series paper. Has all of these elements that you can just put with your dies, and then they'll just cut out. Or if you don't have the dies, you can just fussy cut those out because they're just beautiful by themselves. Becky says that the dies went unorderable as well until the week of July 4th. Yep, so that's a real bummer, especially since I just designed this class for right now. But you know, that's why you know it's going to be a really great one. Becky's on my team, and she gets to attend my team meetings, and I send my team the stamp class of the month as part of our make and takes for our team meeting. So that's a perk of being on my team. All right, so let's go ahead and get all of our pieces together here. We've got an envelope. We've got a white piece. This will be going on the inside. I need to get out my other piece so I know what I'm doing here. So here's our little insert for the front here, and this is going to be our pocket on the front to tuck that in with. I think that's really cute. And then we've got our butterflies. We'll set those off to the side here. Let's go ahead and get out our rose. I'm getting out these two roses. You can see my stamps are a little bit stained. Photopolymer does stain with ink, especially pink ink, but it still works just as well. Getting out my Melon Mambo ink and Mossy Meadow. So before I stamp on this one, I actually want to do the inside. And I should have grabbed a piece of scrap paper, because I don't want to stamp on my desktop here. I'm going to use this piece of grid paper. Did you know that we have Stamparatus grid paper? It's a perfect like desk size. It doesn't cover your entire desk like maybe normal people would like. Like we do have big grid paper too, but when I'm crafting, I tend to have a really small area where I'm actually crafting, and so these little paper or Stamparatus grid papers work really well just to bring it in and put it out as needed. So I'll get my Melon Mambo ink here, and I will stamp each of these roses here in the corner. So I want this bigger one down here in the corner, and I'll have this one with the stem kind of coming in from the top right. Actually, I'm going to have it come in kind of like from the side with the stem going off to the right. So there's our inside. I'm going to leave this blank because we have on the front, it says, "Friend, you are wonderful in every way." So that really can go to any occasion. So I'm going to leave this part blank on the inside so you can fill it out as your needs arise. And we're going to keep that open here. Actually, before we do any of this other assembly, we're going to have to cut these pieces out because those are going to determine where we do our stamping on the other parts. So I'll close my ink pad for the moment and put those off to the side. I'm going to get out my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And again, I love this mini one because there's room on my desktop while I'm crafting to get it out and then put it back away. It's just a quick grab with all of these little pieces. All right, so I'm going to get out my my big die here for the flower. And the way that I like to line this up is there's a little pointy part to this little petal over here, and I look for that part on the die. So I can see that on the die right there. And so that's where I know that will line up. And I've just got a little bit of washi tape to help me make sure that this doesn't scoot around while I'm putting it through the machine. And while we're running this one through, we may as well do the little leaf at the same time. I just have one little leaf on this one. Now this is a trick. On this die, there's a little hole. Do you see it here? You'll be lining that up and looking through, and hopefully you'll see the little green of the stem, and that will help you line this one up just perfectly. So I'm going to take just a second to see if I can see that, and then tape it on here with some washi tape. If I can get my washi tape started. Maybe. Okay, where's the end here? Okay. Well, thwarted again. Oh, I think I found it. Okay, I'm going to lay this down so I know where the end is. All right, so looking through here, I want to see that green of the stem. Oh, there it is. It is difficult to see, but hopefully I've got it. A little under pressure going on a video. So we'll go ahead and run these through. I've got plate number 1, plate number 2, and then my paper with the die, and then another plate number 2. And all of those instructions are right here on your first plate, so you know exactly what sandwich to do. Okay, moment of truth. Did I get it right? I did. Look at that. Beautiful. I'll save that little piece of washi tape for a couple of the next upcoming items. And here's my flower. That looks perfect too. Put my dies back before I lose them. This magnet sheet I got on Amazon. In case you're wondering, I might leave a link on that. I really like it because it comes with a case that you can store all of those in as well. All right, so let's go ahead and bring this back in here. All right, so that's our center. Let's just put this on the inside right now. Get it out of the way. If I can grab my glue. This is my liquid glue. I love this stuff. It goes on nice and thin, which you should be doing a thin, I don't know if you can see that, just a real thin layer. If you do too thick, it'll glob out the sides, and you don't need that much. It actually has a really strong hold, but it does have a little bit of wiggle room where it stays wet just for a couple seconds, so you can make sure that your things are straight. And now this is on there. It's not going to come off. I couldn't move it if I wanted to. So just 5 to 10 seconds to really hold things on, and then they're good. Now this we're going to put on right away. And I'm going to make a little pocket and line it on 3 sides. And then make sure the side with no glue is at the top when you put it on the card base here. So as thin as you can, closest to the edge as you can. You don't want this glue to come out, so try a gentle, soft hand with the glue. And this should go all the way to the edge of the card. Just like that. We'll let that dry for a second. And then we have this flower we're going to put up on dimensionals, if I can grab it. Here's my dimensionals. And I kind of want it sticking up a little bit. So I don't want a dimensional on the top part because that will close up our pocket. So I want to make sure that I put it in the center, maybe a couple near the bottom there. And then we know that that's supported well at the bottom. So just like so. And then this can go flat on here, just like that. I'm going to hold on to where it goes over the seam here because I don't want to put glue on this leaf right here because I don't want it to close my pocket again. So I'll just flip that over, keep my fingers there so I know where not to put glue. And then I have something to hold on to also. So that is going flat. So now we've got this cute little pocket right on the front of our card, right? So we should be able to fit this right in there. And our pocket should be dry by now. So giving yourself a nice even border, check out where everything is kind of laying. So what I can do, actually, I'm going to grab a pencil real quick because I want to see where the edge of these flowers are. Hold on, I'm going to grab a pencil just from across the room here. And I'm just going to make a little mark. And I can erase these lines. I'm just doing a couple little lines so that I can kind of see where those flowers are ending. Because I want my flowers, you can see my sample here, I want them tucked behind that flower. So we'll go ahead and get our ink back out. Put my glue away. And we'll get the bigger rose off to this side. Let's see. I want it popping out like so. So you just want it just under those pencil lines so it's kind of popping out. And I'm going to put this one kind of nestled right in that petal right there. And now we have our two roses. They should tuck in nicely. Oh yeah, that looks nice. And then we'll go ahead and close this ink pad up. And get out Mossy Meadow. And we want the stamp that says friend and you are wonderful in every way. I'm going to give this a moment to dry before I start to erase my pencil lines because I do still see those, but I'll stamp this first. Okay, so we've got friend and you are wonderful in every way in Mossy Meadow. Now, where I got the ink colors from is looking on the back of the DSP package. Then I know which colors they used, and I know that that color will coordinate with the paper that I'm using. I like that I don't have to really think about what colors to use. I just follow what Stampin' Up expert designers have told me what goes together because they put it in paper together. There we've got friend. You are wonderful in every way. Very cute. I'm going to go ahead and erase those pencil lines right now. So that's why I only did just a couple, just to see where the line was and then stamped right below that line. Here's another one. I think it was just those three. Okay, so while this is in the pocket now, we're going to add one big and one small butterfly. So I'm going to put the little one right here and the big one right down here. If you guys would like just the PDF tutorial, I'm also selling that as well. That will be $15 and it'll have all the measurements and another link to this video. And yeah, so you can get that all with all of the US measurements there. So there's our first card. Isn't that cute? I like the pocket. I love this notebook edge. It's so fun. Again, those dies will be back the week of July 4, and the paper will be back the week of July 11. Excuse my chair being loud. Okay, the next card is this one. And we'll just pull out the packet for that. Again, this is how all of your packets will come, pre-cut and ready. And then you can save this little bag to store your card in when it's done to keep it protected. And Julie says that design is beautiful. Thank you. So here's your piece. It will come all pre-cut just like this, so you don't have to do any work. and we'll just be using that in the design. We've got the strip of paper here for your sentiment, and we've got the inside of the piece here. There's actually two sizes of white here. There's one that's smaller and one that's bigger. The bigger one is for your stamped designs. The smaller one, just go ahead and place it inside. It should fit inside. And if you screw up and use the bigger one, it's no big deal. That will fit inside. You could even trim it down and fit it back inside. Either way is fine. So this one's for the inside. And then we also have the envelope and then the card base. So we'll go ahead and give this a fold. And we can actually just glue this on. We're not going to do any stamping on this piece. This is just our background for the rest of the card here. So we'll just go ahead and glue that on. I'm going to avoid the hole areas so I don't have glue seeping through the front. So we'll just kind of go around the outside here, maybe just a dot in the middle here so it doesn't pop up. Just a little squiggle of glue. Make sure your card is opening the right way before you glue that down. I've got the extra little tail going off to the left on the bottom there. So there's our card base. We can put that to the side. We'll keep this here as reference, right? That's helpful. All right, we'll put the... All right, so we've got the big piece and the little piece. Let's see, what did we do for the inside? Let's do that first and get it out of the way. We got wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. And I think I'll have to grab that from the stamp set that I put somewhere. I just had it. Here it is. Wishing you I love this set. I don't think we use any other stamp set for all of these cards, plus last month's cards. But this is a great stamp set. All right, so here's our cheat sheet right here. And this is the middle, the smaller one. I'll get the bigger one out of the way. So we're going to do Memento Black for our words. Right in the center. And then we've got this little flower sprig. And we've actually got one on the envelope too. This one's a little bit different. You could do this in pink, you could do it in black, you can do it in yellow. I'm going to do it in yellow actually. No, I don't have that stamp set. I don't have that ink, I mean. So I'll stick with the inks that I already chose. I will do, let's see, what have we got? We got pinks and yellow and green. We'll stick with the pink. That's fine. All right, so we've got our little flowers. 1 and 2. All right, so we've got the little one. Got to do some block shifting here. And we'll do pink, Melon Mambo. And I'm going to stamp off on this because I don't want this to be too bright. So we'll bring in our grid paper real quick, and then I'll stamp that off to the side there. And it's still pretty bright, but then you can still read the words. So that will go on the inside. And then we can also decorate our envelope real quick with the other flower, and then we can tackle the front. And there's my envelope right there. With the bigger flowers. Cute little thing in the corner. And then maybe on the back here. That looks cute. We'll put that off to the side. Put that to the side. Let's put this in the middle of our card. Okay. So then we just have to do the front pieces. This will be the fun part. Let's go ahead and stamp our happy birthday. So that's all ready to go. I'll have to put that on my long block here. This is block H. I need to order another one of these because I do tend to use it quite a bit. Happy birthday. There it is. You can see I've already well used this stamp set. It is quite stained and well loved. With these long ones, you want to put them so that the stamping surface is down, because if you try to stick it to your block, you could stick it at an angle without intending to. And so I like to let it kind of get back to its shape, because it can be a little sticky to even hold, and then pick it up with my block, and then I know that it's straight. If you have grid paper, line it up on the grid paper, and then you'll know it's really straight. We got happy birthday. Right there. And we'll keep this black out because we're going to be doing all of these stamps on our bigger piece of basic white. So we want the big flower here. And again, if you're using blends, you do want to use Memento, because this black ink goes well with the alcohol markers. I didn't stamp this up enough. So with Memento, I'm going to, especially with these larger images, I'm just going to tap it while it's upside down and make sure that I have enough ink on there. That looks good. Give it a good press. And now I have enough coverage on that one. Good. And I'm going to do the other one that I did in pink, but we're going to have to wash that. So I'm going to get out my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist and just give that a squirt. We've got a wet side and a dry side. So all you have to do is rub it on the wet side, rub it on the dry side, and we should be good. Sometimes if you haven't washed your scrub in a little while, you might want to stamp it a couple times on some grid paper, because you can pick up a little bit of ink if you haven't washed it, but you can wash it with just soap and water in the sink. Okay, so now we can do black at the other rows, and then we'll do the 2 leaves. Should have plenty of room on here to stamp everything that you need to. Turn this back over, do the little tour leaf and the little multi-leaf fiber. There we go. And I'm going to get out my blends. It probably will be a little bit easier to color these before they're cut out. So hopefully we don't make any mistakes while we're cutting. I'm going to color the big one with the Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to go over the entire thing with the light one. So I'm going to go carefully up to the edges, and then just, actually it's not the entire thing. I didn't do the middle. I forgot to tell you, I did use a little bit of yellow there. So I'm going to grab the yellow too. It's probably Daffodil Delight, because that would go with the background. So one more blend color. Sorry. If you haven't used the blends yet, they're so much fun. I'm just going to turn my paper in a circle so I don't have to move my coloring hand. It helps to just have that same motion here, and then I have more control over where I'm coloring. And I'm not using the tip of this marker because I don't want to smash the tip. I'm coloring kind of on the side. Of that thick tip. You can tell which tip is thick by this thicker line, and we have a thin line on this side for more detail work. These lids are nice and tight. You want them to stay tight, and anytime you're done coloring, please put the lids back on because they are alcohol markers and they will dry out on you. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dark of the same color, Flirty Flamingo, near the inside of every petal, as if it has a little shadow because it's curving up, so the light can't quite reach all the way to the center of the flower. So I'm just going to kind of scribble there a little bit as it's the center of the flower. And this one. And now it's not quite blended. So this is what it looks like when it's not, when you haven't gone back over it with the light one. But we're going to go back over that with the light big one and go overlapping where we did the light and the dark, kind of going over that line there to make it less harsh. And you don't want to go all the way up to the tips of the petals that you did before, and that way that leaves that part extra light, and so you have 3 different colors instead of just the 2. So you're just kind of scribbling over to kind of erase that harsh line. Okay, so once we've blended those, you see how those edges kind of soften a little bit? That's what we're looking for. Let me grab my Daffodil Delight. And I'll probably just, we might use both. All right, I'm going to go over it with the light again, over to the fuzzy parts. And then maybe go over the center with the dark one. That looks good. All right, make sure my lids are on. And now we can go over to the Melon Mambo. Go ahead and get these out of the way in here. Make it look like it's clean in here. It's so tidy, so tidy. Actually, I'm going to lower this. We don't have the embossing thing yet. So now you should be able to see the coloring just a little bit better, hopefully. All right, so I'm again going to go over the entire image with the light, which is still quite dark. Again, going over with the side of the thick part. This needs to come over this way a minute. There, that's better. Getting my lights adjusted. Again, the alcohol markers do bleed a little bit, which means it will bleed through your paper. So you might not want to do it on a nice wood surface. But you also, they bleed out as you color. So don't quite go up to the line of your image. You want to leave the tiniest little white border, and then it will kind of seep up to it. Here, it didn't quite go as far as I want. It does, it's not a lot of bleeding, but it is just a little bit. So it takes some practice. But again, with this Memento ink, look, I can color right over the lines and it's not smearing. If you were to use, say, StazOn or something, or one of our other colored inks that are water-based, the lines from your stamp would smear as you colored over it with your alcohol markers. So that's what we're trying to avoid by using the Memento. Okay, again, so I'm going to color near the inside of the petals. I'm going to get underneath this little lip here, inside this whole area. This is my favorite rose. I love this one. A little bit there, maybe. I don't know where you'd imagine shadows might be, I guess. And then maybe we'll put a little bit in in those center ones just to give it some variated colors there. Again, this is looking kind of, oops, that's really close now. This is looking kind of funny because we didn't blend out those two colors. So now we're going to scribble over those colors. Hi, Danielle, you're watching me live. That's so fun. All right, so go ahead and scribble over these lines. I never know who's actually watching me live. It's funny because I'm meeting people out in public, and then they tell me that they watch me online, but they haven't ever given a comment or joined my email list, or I don't. You're out there, and I don't know who's watching me, which is kind of exciting. So please say hi if you're watching, either later or live. That's makes me smile to know people are watching. All right, now I'm going to get out Granny Apple Green and just go over the leaves. All light, and then we'll go back in with the dark, add some shadows, and then back in with the light to blend it. If you want your images to look more artsy, you can kind of leave and not blend. I'm going to use this short, littler one. I think I can get in these precise little areas a little bit better. You can leave the dark and light contrasts to kind of look a little bit more, you know how some images are just kind of like not sloppy, but more sloppy looking, I guess. Just kind of fun and artsy. You can do different kind of styles with different things. So I'm actually going to cut all of these out. I can use this extra paper for something else. And just going to snip these apart so I have some room to get those in. Okay, so now we're going to have to pull this camera back up again because we're going to have to bring in the cutting machine again. So let's get the dies on here first. We'll go ahead and put this big flower on. Again, I'm looking at this pointy piece right here, the pointy petal, and then lining that up on my die. And then we'll need this one and the leaf ones. And I'll need my washi tape, and I remembered where the edge was this time. All right. And again, with this little dot, I'm looking for the black of the stem on this one. I think I see it. Now the cutting surface on our dies is right up close to the inside, and so you want your image to be up to the edge of that window that you have there looking through your die. All right, let's get the machine back out. And I should be able to fit all of these on here. Ooh-wee. All right, so when we have a lot of things going through here, or if you're having trouble having this feed in, again, stack your plates a little bit staggered, which means we might not be able to fit all of it on here. I would on the big one, but oh, look at that. It does fit. Ta-da! It's all good. Even though this is the mini, it is still quite the chore horse. Is that the right word? Still does a good job. The workhorse. All right. Ooh, all of these look really nice. Look how straight that is. That would have been so difficult to do if they hadn't put that little dot in there. So I'm going to tear off my, I can leave my tape on here and use that again. It does get unsticky after a couple uses, but for a couple it will do just fine. So we'll just put those off to the side here. Get my plates, put them back in my little bin so they don't get lost. And now we have these pieces. Okay, so now we have our happy birthday. I'm just going to take this and angle cut it like so. If you are particular, you can take this piece that you snipped off and actually put it over here to get your exact same angle. And just follow that line again. But if that doesn't matter to you, just snip away. I don't always do that, but it is kind of nice. If you want it to be real precise, you can just move over the one side. All right, so let's go ahead and get these configured. I'm just going to set them where I want them before we actually glue them down. And then that will help me kind of figure out where to start gluing the pieces that will actually be flat. Again, let's kind of come down a little bit. So this will be tucked in here. I like that. This one's going to be underneath there. Yeah, like that. Okay, so I'm going to take away this piece and keeping this here. Actually, I'm just going to take it out. I'll put a little bit of glue here so that I can tuck that right where I had it. Is that right where I had it? Yeah. So I'll push that down. Again, with liquid glue, you have a little bit of wiggle room. I'll go ahead and put the glue on this one, and we'll tuck that in while it's right there. And now all the rest of this is going to go on dimensionals, so now it's easy. Put my glue away. Flowers first. Don't put dimensionals on your words quite yet because it might be on top of your flowers. So we don't want to put a dimensional on another dimensional, if that makes sense. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's go ahead and do 2 here. This one's actually tucking behind. Did I leave myself enough room to tuck it? I don't know. There. And so this is going up here. So if I were to just put dimensionals along here, it would be on top of this layer here, and then it would be kind of lopsided. So I'm going to look at this and see where is it empty. So right underneath this Y, I need a dimensional, and right underneath the end, I need a dimensional. So there's the Y, and there's the end. So that should do it, because everything else is already supported by the rest of these flowers. Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so now we can put our butterflies on. Again, one big one and one small one. Got the big one. Got the small one. And there we go. I love these brass butterflies. They're so shiny. All right, and that one is all done. We have the envelope for that also. And let's move on to the third card. This one has embossing, white embossing. So I'm going to get out my blending brush. Did I mention that at the beginning? We're going to be using a blending brush. And we'll need the packet for this. White embossing powder. And Versamark ink. Oh, there it is. Good. I thought for a second it was missing. Now this is a sticky ink, and the embossing powder sticks to the where you stamp the ink, and then you tap it off. And I picked up this plate, or this little embossing tool, at a yard sale because I joined Stampin' Up after they had sold these. Guess what? These are coming back in the next catalog that starts the beginning of July. And my pre-order with this piece comes on Wednesday. So I'm going to be doing a little unboxing. So you get a tray and an embossing buddy, which I'm so glad. It's a little bag with the cornstarch or something in it so that your powder doesn't stick to the paper where you didn't stamp the Versamark. And the set also comes with a little mini brush so you can brush off little extra pieces, and a set of reverse tweezers. So I'm really excited about getting that. Okay, so let's go backtrack here. Let's see, we need the little double leaf. Put this off to the side for a second. Here's our sneak peek. We need the double leaf. We need the other leaf, both leaves. We need the big flower. And we need best wishes. Okay, so we'll take happy birthday off here and do best wishes. There it is. Again, I'm going to put that on the desktop and then pick it up so that I know that it's straight. So that's getting embossed, and these are getting stamped. So let's make sure our stamps are clean. I really don't want this one to have black on it if I'm embossing on white. I still have some spray left on here from the last time I did this, so it should be okay. Okay. Oh, and what's on the inside? Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. I think we used that before, so I'll go ahead and wash that one too. This one has lots of butterflies on it. Look at that. I was like, oh, I have more to use. So I just sprinkled them all over. All right, so this one, let's get out the pieces. I'll put my stamps off to the side now that you saw which ones we're using. Here's our card, and here's our packet. So again, everything comes pre-cut here. Let's go ahead and fold our card base. I pre-scored it for you, but I like to line up the corners before I press it with my bone folder. Another handy tool for your craft room, bone folder. Now this piece here will be stamped all over in both of the leaves with Coastal Cabana. And then we've got this little panel piece will be embossed with Best Wishes. And this little piece will be embossed in white, and then we're going to put the blending brush over the top. So it should be pretty easy. And then we've got our envelope. We have to decorate that as well. Let's go ahead and stamp our leaves first. Put all these off to the side here, one thing at a time. All right, so we've got our leaves and Coastal Cabana ink. And actually, I'm going to get my grid paper back out here because I'm going off the edge. So I'll just be, I don't have to worry too much about the center actually, but I do want to make sure that I'm rotating this as I'm stamping around so that it looks different and not so robotic. Hopefully that makes sense. Now we'll take this one and just kind of sneak it in where we can. I want to make sure I'm not too close to the outside here. There, let's go ahead and throw in a little bit more here and there. just on the places that might need a little extra love. Maybe up here. There, okay, so if we were to get out this little piece, that should cover up all the empty spots in the middle, right? Yeah. Cool. That should be all we need. Well, we'll need that for the blending brush. All right, so now we can do some embossing. Put that to the side here, and we'll get these two pieces out. So we're doing white embossing powder only, and we'll need that Versamark. Those two little leaves to the side. All right, so we need Best Wishes. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Okay, and the flower. I'm going to stamp this on grid paper because I do want this to be white. It should be nice and clean. Yes, it is. Okay, good. All right, so I'll just go ahead and stamp this. And if I had an embossing buddy, I would wipe my paper with that first so it would get non-sticky. Sometimes if you touch the paper with the oils on your finger, the embossing powder will stick to that instead of just to the parts where you stamp. So right away, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and get out my embossing powder. Dump that all over the image. And since we have this tray here, which will, I mean, look at this. I could dump the whole thing out, tap it off into the tray, and it should just stick just to where we stamped. See, I've got a little funny spot right here. And with that tray that's coming, it's going to come with a little brush. This one I got at that yard sale with this tray. But if you have anything that's kind of there that you don't want there, give it a little blow off your surface so you don't get stuff here. It should be looking pretty good there. I'm going to set that to the side. We're going to heat set both of these at the same time. See all this? We've got a little hole down here, and that will just dump it right back in to your container. Give it a little tap right through the hole at the bottom. Isn't that so cool? And the new one has a little plug so you don't accidentally dump it when you're not intending to. So cool. All right, so now we can do our words. Same thing. We're doing the same thing. Best wishes. Okay, it's hard to see because it's clear sticky ink, but it's on there. And we'll go ahead and dump the embossing powder on there. Give it a gentle tap on the back. You don't want to blow too hard over top of where you have the rest of those. If there's a little piece in there, see, I have this tray, but I have to use it for multiple colors. So I don't think I cleaned the tray well. I think there's a little bit of a different color in here that I need to get off. And I'll go ahead and try to fix that by pouring it over there again. Hopefully I didn't rub off the sticky ink. Oh, that looks better. Yeah. See, I had a little black spot, and now that looks good. Okay, so we're going to put our embossing powder back before we heat set because I don't want to bring out the blower while this is sitting out. We don't need any mistakes. I've seen crafting people do embossing powder while they have their fan going or something, and then disaster. So this is still the first container that I got 5 years ago. It does last quite a while. So I'm going to get out my heat tool. There's two settings on here, number 1 and number 2. Anytime you're just doing it on regular cardstock, you want to use number 2. So it'll get a little bit noisy here. And if I had those cool new tweezers, I could hold this paper so that my hands don't get hot. But since I don't have that yet, I'll just hold this with the tip of my scissors. As your tool heats up, you'll be able to see the change in your embossing, and then you just follow that along as it's changing. So it's starting to turn. You can see it getting brighter. You should be able to see that in the video. And I'm just going to keep following that nice and slow. There. So there's the first one. If you've never done heat embossing before, I wouldn't go back over it a couple times because then it starts to get weird. So you just follow it as it's changing. Now let's go ahead and do this one. It's a little harder to see on white. But I can see it changing. All right. So now that one is shiny as well. Can you see the design there? All right, so let's go ahead and get out our blending brush. This will be fun. Where did the blending brush go? Oh, it's right next to me. Right there. I swear it happens every time I'm crafting. I'm like, where'd that thing go that I just had in my hand? Story of my life. All right, so make sure that you have some scrap paper near you because I want you to start on the scrap paper after you pick up the ink. So we're going to take our brush and just kind of swirl it in here real light and then practice over here on your scrap paper. See, it starts dark in the middle and then it gets lighter as you start running out of ink. So, and depending on how juicy your pad is also. So I'm going to make sure that the very initial part of my ink pickup starts here, and then we're going to start in the center here. You can always add more ink, so it's always nice to go light first. So see how light that is? But it does create a nice subtle print, and it doesn't stick to where we embossed. So that's automatic. And I want to make sure my fingers are clean, because if I'm touching this with inky fingers, that wouldn't be good either. So we're going to fill in the center here, probably pretty dark, and then we're going to go past the lines. So I'm actually going to put this on my grid paper here. Ooh, it's nice and dark now. Yeah, that looks good. So gently past. That looks pretty good. You can see the whole flower now. And that's it. When you get a blending brush, you get 3 in a pack. And you see how inky it is right now? I just put that in my sink with regular hand soap and just scrub it out, and it gets almost back to the white. So that's how to clean those out. And then you don't have to buy one for every color. Just buy the 3-pack. I know some people have one for every color, and you can totally do that if you want to, but you don't need to. You can just wash them out. All right, so let's go ahead and put all of these together. We've got our card base. Oh, what do we do in the inside? We got to do the inside real quick. All right, so here is my inside piece. And then we can put all the pieces together. So we've got our leaves still. We'll get this one, and we do have to do the envelope too. All right, come here, ink. We're not done with you. We need the leaf here in the bottom left. Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. This would be a good wedding card. Best wishes. Or graduation. Or just kind of moving on. If you have somebody that is retiring or changing jobs, this would be a good card. All right, so there's our card there. Let's go ahead and put the center in here. Let's push this off to the side. Then we'll just have this in here. There. Little line of glue, a little bit in the middle. There's our card center. And then this just goes on the front. And this is just going to get tipped just a little bit. And that's actually on dimensionals. So let's go ahead and get those back out. Swear if my head wasn't attached, I'd probably lose that too. So as you can see, I'm getting to the end of my sheet of dimensionals. Each pack of dimensionals comes with 3 sheets in there, but you can use this edge piece and just clip it into little pieces. Don't throw this away with edges on there. That is some good stuff. I don't like to skimp out on my dimensionals. I like to use a lot so that it's nice and supported in the mail when you mail it. All right, so again, we want that a little bit tipped. And then this piece will actually go flat and straight with the card. And this is just long enough to go the whole width of the piece that we stamped on. It's not all the way to the edge of the card. So I just want that kind of right there. And we're just gluing it in the center here. And we can actually put a dimensional on the side. I don't know if I did that. Yeah, I did. We can put one right here just to give it a little bit more support, but you only need a little bit of glue in the middle. Maybe I'll clip a little piece. We'll clip a little piece for the end. That's this end. Okay. All right, I want that about right there. Now we can decorate with butterflies. So we get 2 big ones on this one. One, and we'll put one next to the words here, 2. Those are the big ones. And then we're going to put 4 small ones. Nope, 3. 3 small ones. So they're kind of going like this. There. That one's all done. Did we do the envelope for that one? I can't remember. Nope, I don't think we did. Same leafy stamp. Same stamp. We should have done this when we did the middle. But I like to do this all at once so that I have an envelope and the inside of the card is done and ready to go. So we don't have to get our stuff or wonder which color we used. Everything should be done at once because it only takes a couple seconds. Okay, so there's the 3rd card. Let's move on to the purple one. Sorry, this video will be long because it's an entire class. Linda says, dimensionals are like DSP. You can never have too much. It is so true, Linda. That is some wise words right there. I agree. All right, we are done with the embossing thing there. I'm going to get out my purple pack. And we've got all these fun little pieces in here. Okay, so we've got this for our sentiment. This is the center piece where it's kind of popping through, and these 2 pieces will line that. We've got a bunch of different pieces from the DSP. So we've got all these fun little pieces that we can either fussy cut or use the dies for. And we've got this embossed piece here. This is using this embossing folder. I didn't label it, so I forget what the name is. I was like, oh, I have it right here. I can tell you what it is. It's this one. I don't remember. So, all right. So we're going to actually be cutting this. I'm gonna need my trimmer here. And where did I put my trimmer? Well, I'll grab that in a second. So this is your card base. It's the long version. So we're just gonna fold that in half here. Ooh. And I already lost my bone folder, so I can't push it down. Oh, goodness, here it is. It's underneath the blend. I'll put that up there so I can see it. All right, so we've got it opening like this. And on the inside, let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we got this big flower, and congratulations. We're only using Gorgeous Grape ink on this card, I believe. And did I wash this? I think so. All right, so let's go ahead and, oh, we're going to need that grid paper back. We're going to stamp off for the inside of the card with this big flower. And that's going to go right here. It looks like I actually stamped it off twice. This one's a little bit lighter. I kind of like that better. So maybe stamp it off twice. I was wondering. I should have tested it on my grid paper because that's what the grid paper is for. That's okay. Congratulations. All right, so that's the center. Nice and easy. And let's do the envelope at the same time because we're just going to do a little bit of the same flower, same ink. So may as well get all of that done right away. Off the side there. And actually I'm going to open it up like this to get it off the side on this little corner flap here. There, doesn't that look cool? All right, so we've got the envelope done. Oh, and since we still have this out, let's do this part too. Wishing you all the happiness you can imagine. We just have to stamp it on this little postage stamp punch. This is clean, right? I think so. All right. There we go. That's all the stamping we need for this card. Just put all those off to the side there. And we need to get out the die cutter again to cut out our pieces. And then I'll track down my trimmer because we need that. All right, where's all of our little pieces? So you get 3 big flowers and I think 3 little leaves. Yeah, they're there. So let's go ahead and get our dies back out. Oops. So we are going to have to run this through 3 times because of these 3. And I should have pre-done some of these for you before starting this video, for at least this video, but I didn't, so sorry. We're going to just do it together. Hopefully you don't mind hanging out with me a little longer. And if you're watching the replay, you can just fast forward. I'm just cutting these things up. All right. This is how I cut my dies out. Oops, I stuck it to the table. Come on. This one too. I lined it up and it stuck to the table. All right, I'm gonna have to reposition my washi there. Oh, that's not lined up. And then I'm looking for that little pointy petal. There it is. Oops. So does anybody have any fun plans for this summer? Sorry you have to watch me do the die cutting. This is going to be a while. I like to make sure that it's straight. So there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get the die cutting machine out. So the flowers are colored, they're just not cut out. So you can fussy, I will cut them out like this, like a quick cutout like this, but you'll be either die cutting them or fussy cutting them out if you don't have the dies. I gotta make you work a little bit. All right, so here's the big flower and one leaf and the other leaf. So this is all from the DSP already. This is my favorite in the annual catalog. It's so beautiful. All of the pieces are so pretty. That's what we're using for all of the cards in this class. And we'll feature this paper. And it is unorderable until July 11, which is really unfortunate. But the next month we are using the Bottle of Happiness punch and stamp set. This is a bundle. So if you're looking for something to purchase to get this class for free, you can get next month's stuff. And that should help you earn this class for free. And then next month you could order this stuff and have it all be waiting for you. We like free. So that'll just give you a heads up. If you like these classes, you can plan ahead. Let's see. Got this flower here. One more little leaf. And then we'll just have to do one more flower. All right, one more big flower. Here's that. There's those pieces. Done with that one. Okay, this one. Just one more. Yeah, so anybody have any fun summer plans? My husband takes the kids camping a bunch. We just came back from camping last weekend. That was fun. The kids love it. Camping's not my favorite thing. We never did it growing up, so I don't have that nostalgic fond memory of camping because we just didn't do it. So it's still fun to go, but I don't like being dirty for so long. My husband likes to backpack camp, so it's a little bit too much, but sometimes he'll take the kids and leave me home and I can just craft and there's nobody to tell me to go to bed and everything that I clean stays clean and there's nobody yelling at each other. And so it's really nice that he does that for me sometimes. All right, so we got all of our pieces here. I'm going to have to get the trimmer out so that we can cut this piece right here, the embossed piece. So I will pop out for just a second and grab that. Just a minute. Sorry. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. And the kids just finished up school for the entire year. They just got home from the bus. So I'm sorry if we hear any noise here in a second, but I think we're almost done. All right, so let's take this piece and we're just going to pop it in from the corner to the corner for the first cut. So we're going to keep this bottom piece intact, and then we're going to move this one and just cut off a bigger chunk. There. Okay, so we just cut out a big chunk in the middle. There's a little bit on this side and there's a bigger spot on this side. And now we've got kind of this angled piece that we can use on the front of our card. So this is our card base. There's where we stamped the inside. And before we glue all of this down, we kind of have to just piece it all together. Ooh, hitting things, sorry. Had to scratch my head for a second. All right, so this we want to line with a thin layer of this purple here. So we're just going to give this strip here just a thin layer of glue near the cut edge so that we can lay our purple piece down. And before that dries, before that dries, or before I am crazy here, let's see, we're just going to put it so that we give ourselves a little border. We want it to go past the top and we want it to go past the bottom because we'll just trim that off. But we do want to make sure our lines are straight. Okay, so that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to put the glue on the back, but then turn it to the front and then stick it on so you can see how far of a border you have. So let's try that again. So along our diagonal edge here, flip it back to the front. The glue's on the back now. And we want this piece to be the same thickness that we did on this piece. Make sure you hold it there for a second because this is the liquid glue. We have a little bit of wiggle room, but not forever. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty even. Okay, I'm just going to leave all these tails on here for now. We're going to put all that on in a minute. All right, so now we can put this piece on, and it's just going to go from corner to corner here, and this should cover anything else there. Yes. So let's just kind of squiggle a little bit of glue from corner to corner. And now we're just going to stick this on there, kind of curving maybe the bottom corner up just a little bit. And then this can just stick, I think it's just flat on there. Got a lot of trimming to do on this though. Okay, this was our top corner piece. Just line that up with the edge of your card there, the corner. Kind of pinch it to it so it lines up real good. And I didn't get all the way over here, so I'm going to have to lift this and make sure I've got some glue underneath here because I don't want this lifting up. Let's see. I'm going to sneak it back here like this. There. This is looking like a hot mess right now, isn't it? Just wait, it'll be cool in a second. All right, so we want this all. So I'm just going to follow these white lines. This is how you know how far to go. You get all within this whole line. If you just kept going this way and you kept going this way, you need all of that glued. I should have thought of that before. Okay, so now, again, we want to make sure our corners are lined up. Give it a pinch so that it's lined up there. If it's lined up there, it should be good for the rest of the area. So now we've got this cool kind of peekaboo thing going on, but we got all this craziness going on too. So let's go ahead and snip that off from the back. Now you can see exactly what needs to leave. So let's go ahead and, so there's a couple layers, so take your time cutting straight. Use the card edge to kind of give you a guide. Look at that. Ooh, that looks cool. So now we've got that there. Now we can snip this piece off. Aha! Now it looks cool. So that's how we're going to put that card together. So now we can just take these little scraps and throw those away. And now we can just layer all of our pretty little pieces on there. So let's go ahead and just kind of place them on there just to start. Just like so. I'm going to stick this one here. Doesn't really matter which leaf goes where. I might stick this above one of those so you can see it better. And then this one will go on top there-ish. I would have stuck that leaf here, but this is going to be there. So I want this to show down here. Okay, so that's kind of where I want it. I want these leaves to go right there. So I will go ahead and pick up this leaf and stick it flat down right there. And this leaf right there. And then we're going to put these on dimensionals. So we're going to take these off for a second. Dimensionals. This purple one's kind of in the back, so I'm going to put that one on first. I'm going to do 3 dimensionals, give it some support. And that goes up in the corner here. And then this one just needs a dimensional, maybe 2 down at the bottom here. Let's see, here and here. And I'm going to sneak this little leafy thing in the top here. And then this one will go there, but I don't need dimensionals in the middle because it's already supported there. So just on the sides here, and I ran out of dimensionals on my sheet. So I'm going to start snipping the edges. So I'm just going to do a whole bunch of these right along that skinny border there. And then when there's a whole row here, I'm going to do every other. So I'll have 2 bumps and then snip it. And then all of this whole sheet will be ready to go with a bunch more dimensionals. There we go. All right, so this one's going to go here. I need a dimensional here and here. Right, that looks good. Yeah. And then this only needs a dimensional right down at the bottom there. I'm going to get one of these skinny ones. Oops. If you ever, oh, I didn't snip this side. If you ever need to bump up like a sentiment strip, you can use this. It's really great because it's skinnier than regular dimensionals. I'm going to use this one. Let's see, over here. So there's our cute little card. We got to put our butterflies on yet, but then this one is done. Where did my butterflies fly off to? There they are. So a big one and a little one again. We put the little one on this little blue flower here, and a big one right on the word tag. There we go. So that's the fourth card, and now we're on to the gift bags. We're almost done, guys. This is the last project. Thanks for sticking with me. This is kind of a long one. All of the class videos are going to be kind of long, but I figured you're going to want all of the instruction and everything, so hopefully you'll stick around, and if you want to watch the replay, you can fast forward to the bits that you need. Okay, so we've got a bunch of pieces here, and all of the dimensions for this will be in the PDF, so if you'd like to purchase that, you can just purchase the PDF for $15. You can get the packet for shipped to you for $30, or earn it for free with any order of $35 or more. So the link is in the description here if you'd like to do that, but you can only order the packet through next Thursday. I believe that is the 16th. That's when my in-person class is. So here's all these fun little pieces. Okay. So this is the bottom of the bag. This will be the sides of the bag, this whole DSP piece. This piece is going to go on the card. This is going to go on the card. This little strip is going to go on the card. And I think these two little pieces go on the card also. Let's go ahead and put the bag together first. Okay, so you've got this one thicker strip and you've got two thinner ones. The thin ones are going to be your handles, and the thick one's going to go around the base of the bags. So let's go ahead and get started on this bag here. Okay, let's get the base down. With your scissors, we're going to snip up. You can see the embossed lines here. It will come embossed, or scored rather, for you. So we're just going to cut up to that score line there, and then just fold all of those down. This is the inside of it's a box bag, and you don't have to worry about mitering the corners or anything. This is the inside of the bag, and the whole thing's going to be covered up with DSP. So you, if you were making a box normally, see how this little edge piece kind of sticks up? That's why we kind of cut those to be a little bit skinnier, so that when it tucks in, you hide any imperfections there, but we don't have to worry about that here. So as this is bending down towards the table, those top of those corners are going to be where your glue is at. I'm going to use liquid glue just because it's right here, but you could use tear and tape too. We're going to be using a bunch of tear and tape on this one. I might regret using the liquid glue here because I'm going to have to hold it closed now to make sure that it stays. But it only takes a couple seconds. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be good. Takes a little longer to make sure that 3D things that are wanting to refold flat stay put. So it might pop back open again, but if we use tear and tape, then it would just stay closed for good. But here's our little box. It's like a little tray. And then we're actually going to take, let's see, where's my other bag? How did I do this? Yeah, okay, so this is actually going to be the inside, this pretty part, and then we're going to have this be the outside. And the reason I did that is because this is more uniform on the outside, because it's all kind of all the colors, and then this is kind of a gradient of different colors. So I thought that'd be fun to peek through on the inside, but you could make the bag look like that too. So you could do it either way. Actually, maybe I should make one the other way so we can see what it looks like. Maybe. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun. So here's how the bag looks when it's this way. And this is the way I intended it, just because it just looks more uniform that way. But then you get that fun gradient on the inside. Let's do it on the outside. Oh, all right. So whatever side you're choosing to be your outside of your bag, you're going to flip it over and put tear and tape all along one whole long side. So if this was going to be my outside, I'd flip it over and I'd put tear and tape here. So let's go ahead and use this as the outside. So I will flip it over and just stick tear and tape all down this side right here. I hope that makes sense. So just like this, it's going to line up the whole edge here. And actually, you're also going to put it on this side right here. So whatever side you have the tear and tape on, if it's at the top, you put it on the right side here. Because I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you might want to put it on the other side. This is how I'm going to wrap it around the bag though. So before we start wrapping, cut my tear and tape. All right, so that's where we have the tape, just like that. And I'm going to start on this side when the tape is off and start wrapping it around our little tray here. So I'm going to take all of the tear and tape off, including the end piece here. There we go. And this is very sticky, so be careful. I'm going to start at the side, the smaller part of the tray. And I'm going to line up the DSP so that it's near the bottom here. And then as it gets to the corner, I'm going to crease it so that it follows the bottom of this box. Just like that. And then as it's going along, I'll just go ahead and give it a press. If it's not straight, it's okay. We're actually covering up this whole bottom part with the another panel. So if you aren't completely straight, don't fret. So again, I'm getting to the edge here. I'm going to crease it and keep going. And then crease. I had to do this bag a couple times just to make sure that I had the exact right measurements. So I'm creasing again. And we want to make sure that our tape is covered here. And we want the top to be straight also. So just make sure your top is straight. It's not quite. There. And now we have the bottom piece here. So when we cut paper, sometimes we get a little lip on the inside. So this is the top where we cut it, and then the inside looks a little rougher. I'm going to add the tear and tape to the inside so that the outside looks the nicest. And I'll just run this tear and tape right along here. Just rip it at the end. And this is just going to wrap around the exact same place we just did. All right, I'm trying to take the backing off here. All right, so starting just over, this is where you want this piece to be nice and straight. So same thing we just did, only this is going to be a little bit easier because it's not as big of a piece. So go along the edge there, creasing as you get to the corners. And there is our bag getting started here. That's really cute actually. And the inside looks dark. That's cute. I don't know. I might actually like that one better. Yeah, I really like that one. Okay, so the handles are gonna be put on a little bit differently. So we're actually gonna put the tear and tape right on the bag so we know the handles are straight, and then you don't have sticky parts on here that might, you know, be underneath where the bag's not attached to the bag. So just about a little over from the corner, you're just gonna follow the bag up to the top with your tear and tape. And again, the same distance over that you did over there. You're going to kind of make sure that you're parallel to the strip there. It just kind of goes straight up. And there's where our two handles are going to start. And on this other side, while you still have your little measurement in your mind, I always eyeball it. I guess you could measure it, but it doesn't really have a specific measurement. You just kind of same distance from the edge as you did on all the other parts. Okay, so there's where our handles are going to go. And as you have your two handles here, I want you to take them between your two fingers and just kind of give it a curl so that it has this curl kind of starting. That will help it to make the shape that we want it to and not crack and crease. We're just stretching the paper fibers. Okay, so now we can take our tear and tape layer off, or the backing parts. This is a really long video. I apologize. All right. And there. Okay, so we're going to do, I shouldn't have taken both sides off. Oh, now I can't put it down. I'm going to take this piece and it's curving down. You see I'm holding this side. I'm going to put that right on the tear and tape like so. And on the same side, I'm going to curve it around, and that's the same side that will stick down on the opposite edge. So on this side, same thing. Now I can put it down. So I'm going to have this curving down. I'm going to put the handle on and then follow that along. Same side goes down. Aren't these bags just so cute? They look like little beach bags. Wouldn't that be a fun little beach favor? Do little beach bags. All right, so I don't even know which side I want to be the front. They're both really cute. Maybe the pink side, because that's what our edge is. All right, so let's go ahead and make the bag, or not the bag. We made the bag. We want to make the little card. So I'm just gonna fussy cut these real quick, because why not? Show you that they're not so bad to fussy cut. And then I don't have to get the machine out again. So here we go. Probably take about the same time to get it all out anyway. Now I think on the bags I have a couple different colors available for the flower that's going to go on here because there wasn't a ton of the same color available. So they're going to be different colors. The flower on, but they all these colors are in here, so it should all match just perfectly. Because if you want all the colors, you're just gonna have to get the paper because it's so beautiful. You're gonna want it. All right, so we're almost done. Okay, we just need the sentiment for the card, and I had sending many thanks for all you do. It's a good thank you. This would be a nice thank you for somebody, wouldn't it? Oops. I'm gonna have some cleaning of stamps to do when I'm done with this. All right, so we'll get out our Melon Mambo ink one more time. Look at that. That is crooked. Let's let that settle. All right. Give that a press. That's the end of all the stamping we have to do for today. I will glue on these little pieces. And then we need to make our little bag tag. So this little piece goes right in the middle here. Oh no, I did it backwards. It has to open up and down. That's why it didn't fit. It's like, why doesn't that fit? Oops. And I might actually stick. So now I've got glue all over the front. Whoops. Did you know that the Dollar Tree has these mini glue erasers? We used to sell these in the catalog, but we don't anymore. But you can, once the glue is dry, rub them on something that has glue stuck on it, and it should rub off and take away all the stickiness. So that's kind of nice. Dollar Tree. So they should be just $1 or $1.25. I think they raised their prices, but that's still a good deal. Whoops. So yeah, if you make mistakes, we can always fix them, right? Usually if you stamp wrong, you can stamp on the back side or whatever. All right, I'm going to cover up the rest of that glop with this. Do I want to do that one or do I want to do this one? That might be too much blue. I'm going to stick with this side because it does match the middle. And that's where this card is going, in the middle of all that stuff. And then this is going on dimensionals, this is going on dimensionals, and the little leaf is flat. So let's kind of place it so we know where-ish to put everything. This is just going to go right there. All right, so I'll stick this down. Dimensionalize these two things, and then we can wrap it up. Dimensionals. There you are. Look at this. We can do this whole strip here. Ta-da! Okay. All right. And then we have to add our little butterfly. So you do get some extra butterflies in this kit that we didn't Hues. I think maybe one of each, because we're gonna, well, maybe a few more, because we're gonna put, so there's our next little card. So cute. We have one more thing to do actually. There's a little bag tag here. We've got 2 little butterflies, and we're just gonna make a little tag. So I'm gonna turn one backwards, and we're gonna, I'm gonna use tear and tape actually. Since we already used that in this class, this is gonna be really extra sticky, and that's what we want. Oh, my tummy is grumbling. I need some lunch. All right, so we're going to take our string here through the top. This is the inside, so I'm going to wrap it around here, and I don't want it quite this long. This string's a little bit too long, so I'm actually going to put it right there. That's how long I want it, so now I can trim the end off. So I should have given you each plenty of string to go a little further. And now I'm going to put some liquid glue in here and put the top piece on. Actually, I'll just add it to this piece. If it's going to come out. There it goes. Boy, those kids are quiet. What are they up to? There's our little tag for our bag. And I do want you to put a little butterfly in the middle. Let's do a big one because we have 3 of those left and just one of that little one. So right in the center there. You can put it on both sides if you wanted to, actually. But this is the side that's going to be showing. So there's our cute little bag. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry this was such a long video, but we had lots to do today, didn't we? So here is this bag. Let me know which one you like better. This one's more uniform all the way around with the blue, but this one has different gradients of colors here. And then the other one has that on the inside. So which one do you like best for those? And then we also have all these other cards that we just made. So let's go ahead and scoot. Let me scoot this up again so we can see everything. So there's our bags. We had this card. We had this card. We had this card. And the pink one. Where'd the pink one go? I got a stack of cards here. Oh, there it is. And this one. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like to have fun and participate in this class, you can order a packet for $30 shipped to your house. And you can Venmo me. There's a description in a link in the description for that. If you want to earn it for free and get the packet in the mail, you can place an order with me at Stampin Up. There's a link also in the description there. And you'll have to order before by the end of next Thursday, because I'll be closing that host code. And if you want to come in person, I am in mid-Michigan in Williamston. We are doing an in-person class next Thursday. I have 1 to 3 and also 7 to 9 p.m. in my home studio. You're welcome to come to that if you're in the area. And next month, we will be playing with the Bottled Happiness Bundle. The products that we're using for this month right here, the paper is out of stock until the week of July 11. The dyes are out of stock until the week of July 4. And so I'm sorry that that's kind of a bummer, but if you wanted to earn this class for free, you can order next month's bundle and have that ready. And then next month you can order the stuff for this one and get the packet for this one for free if you are interested in that. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and have a fabulous day. Oh, if you are not on my email list yet, I send out free tutorials every Tuesday. So I will also be putting a link for that in the description. Have a fabulous weekend, guys. Bye.